Welcome to My The Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Before we start today, episode 47. We're closing in on that 50th episode. Kind of crazy. Can't wait to reach episode 100, if I'm being honest with you. That's going to be awesome. I will probably have to do something special when that comes up. If you guys want me to do something special for episode 50, you let me know. I might want to do something special for 50. We'll see. But before we get into this thread, the video, and the scenarios, thank you guys so much for all of the support. Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts, you guys have been killing it. Thank you so much for all of the support that we've been getting on there, as well as Patreon. Patreon is kind of moving and grooving. We have a Patreon scenario for today. We will get into that at the end. If you guys want to get your Patreon scenario onto the show, go ahead and click on the link. There is a link tree on whatever you're listening to. If you are listening to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, there is a support the show link. You can click on that and it'll take you right to the Patreon. If you're on YouTube or if you are on anything else, there will be the link tree for you. But thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys are killing it. I have a lot of goals that I am so close to reaching. And that is all thanks to you guys. And I love that so much. But let's go ahead and get into this thread. This one is a mixed bag of funny and kind of weird. So I hope you guys kind of enjoy this one. What is the weirdest thing you've done that you could only tell people anonymously? Okay. What's the weirdest thing you can only tell someone anonymously? Throughout middle school, there was someone who tucked unwrapped Hostess devil dogs into the toilet paper dispensers in the bathrooms so that when you pulled some toilet paper out, the devil dog would fall out of your hand. We had to have an assembly about it. The person was me. Huh. What the heck? What is a devil dog? Hold on, I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to search this. What is a Hostess devil dog? Okay. It is pretty much like a sandwich with cream in the middle of it. It's like two chocolate cakes and then there's cream in it. So he would roll that up in toilet paper and then whenever somebody would pull the toilet paper, one would fall out. Okay. All right. It's a little weird, but sure. Let's see. Stole over 1,000 wafers from church because I really liked the communion wafers and didn't know where else to get them. I felt really blessed and cursed at the same time. Oh my God. He said, damn, these wafers are a bomb. He's like, I don't know where to get them though, but I'm going to keep going to church and I'm just going to grab a bunch of them. Oh my God, that's funny as hell. All he had to do was ask somebody, hey, yo, where do you get these? Because I'm sure they get them at Costco or something. Like, what are you doing? Oh my God, that's funny as hell. He said, I stole over 1,000 of them. My God. Ugh. Okay, so once I got off the subway in New York City, I was super early for an appointment, so I picked a random guy and just followed him on foot for like 30 minutes, pretending I was like a private detective or something. Always kept about half a block behind him. He turned this way and that and eventually went into a building I had lived in 9 years earlier. It was weird, and so was I. Okay. Some people are just creepy, bro, for just no reason. Homeboy just woke up and just decided, man, damn, I got like an hour and a half. I'm going to follow that guy. Where's he going? What is he doing in his daily life? Like, what the hell? All right, y'all niggas is weird. We got super drunk and ate a ton of spicy food in New Orleans. Back at the barbecue, the food started to come out the back side. Oh, okay. He had a dookie. I was sitting on the toilet shitting bricks of fire. At that moment, the booze decided to hang a U-turn. The trash can was out of reach and I couldn't risk standing up from the toilet for even 5 seconds. The closest receptacle was the bathtub and I managed to turn in such a way that I could keep shitting in the toilet while vomiting into the tub. Both ended up clogging and there was no plunger. I had to call the owner to explain that I had destroyed both their toilet and their tub simultaneously. Oh my God. This man was not only fighting demons, but he was fighting the entire world. This motherfucker was shitting and puking at the same time. I'm sorry if you're eating and listening to this right now. Man, that must have been some crazy barbecue. He probably never ate a spicy thing in his life ever again. He probably was like, nope, is that spicy? No, never again. There is no way you could survive that level of booty hole torture and vomiting torture. And then you had to go tell the person, hey, I kind of destroyed your bathroom. And they're like, what do you mean by destroyed my bathroom? And they walk in there and toilet's just full of doo-doo and the tub is just full of puke. Like, oh, I feel so bad for homeboy. I feel so bad for homeboy. Damn, he probably never ate a spicy thing ever again. I found a dead rat in a field when I was younger and kissed it because I wanted to say goodbye. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for confessing. I guess that's only something you can tell anonymously, you know? Thanks for confessing, you know? Let's move on to the next person. When I was younger, I joined an international dating site that I figured was a scam. Put a black square as my picture and gave myself a fake name and then looked through their users. And after about 10 minutes, I had like 100 messages. Most of them were messages telling me how handsome I was or how these women fell in love with me at first sight. Now I knew it was a scam, but whenever I felt down or got rejected for a while, I would pop back onto the site and read a few messages. Yeah, it's kind of cringy and probably pathetic, but it made me feel better. I would just turn off that logical part of my brain and knew it was a scam for a while and just pretend that I was this popular, desirable guy. And honestly, it got me through the day sometimes. Damn. Ladies, if you don't understand how like invisible guys are, that right there proves it to you. Dudes are so invisible sometimes. They have to do shit like this just to feel like I'm wanted, I'm loved throughout the day. Damn. Yeah, I wouldn't want to admit this too. I would admit it anonymously as well. Shit. There's no way. And I get it. 100%, man. I get it. A lot of guys are very antisocial, you know, or they can't really connect with people, you know, they're very just awkward and weird in front of other people, and you know, they don't want to talk to them and stuff. So these kind of things give them kind of validation. So, man, that's rough, my guy. One time I went outside at like 2 a.m. and put the garden hose nozzle in my butthole and sprayed water into it. Then I farted it out onto the lawn, basically gave myself an enema with a garden hose. I did this because I was bored. My neighbor saw me and told my dad. What the fuck? I can't imagine that. Dude. Imagine you're your neighbor and you're just like sitting out in your garage and you see the neighbor kid just walk out and grab the hose, and then he just pulls his pants down and he's just shoving the hose up his butt and he turns the water on. What the fuck is going on here? My God, you kids of the new millennia are just, you kids are wild. You kids are wild. And then he had to tell his dad about it. That was funny. That's all bad, bro. That is all bad. Man, if I was a neighbor, I'd mind my own business. I'd have been like, wow, I did not see what that kid just did. Do you, chief? You know, if this unlocked some pleasure for you or whatever, or some kink for you, hey, do you, brother man. Oh my God, that is wild. Oh, Jesus. There's a reply. I think it's even weirder that your neighbor made the choice to tattle on you. I bet he was debating it all morning. That's what I'm saying. If I was the neighbor, I'd mind my own business. I'd have been like, nope, I didn't see what that kid did. There's no way. There's no fucking way, dude. There's no way. I would be like, nope. I cannot believe he went over there and was just like, hey, kid, you're going to have to tell your dad you shoved the hose up your butthole. I watched you do it. Oh, my God. You kids are wild. Oh, okay. I jerked off to some sexy sounds, which I thought was my neighbor banging some hot chick, which I did a lot, okay? But it was actually another neighbor's severely disabled adult daughter. Oh my God. Who was making the noises. She used to hang out in their backyard and would verbalize with grunts and moans that I misinterpreted as sex moans. Oh my God. This man was like in his bed and he's like listening to the wall and all I hear is like, and he's like, oh yeah. Oh, that's hot. Ooh, give it to me. Oh my God. This man, he was literally hearing that through the wall. He was hearing just like, and he's like, ooh, God damn. Oh yeah, I'm going to hell for that one. Oh my God, that's terrible. That is terrible. Oh my God. Oh, I'm going to hell for that one. That's terrible. My cat has trained me to give her rides around the house by jumping on my shoulder. I walk her over to the peephole of the door and she looks out it. Okay. Oh, okay. I guess the cat looks out of the peephole. Okay. There is a dangling elephant thing with a bell that my wife has as a decoration. She looks at and sniffs it. I walk her to the back door and take a look for a minute. It's glass. Then I drop off at her cat scratching post and she jumps off and purrs like a freak the entire time. It's adorable. We do this several times a day. I think that's cute. He like puts his cat on his shoulder and then the cat can he walks over to the front door so the cat can look through the little peephole and then it sniffs some little elephant decoration that his wife has or whatever. And then he drops the cat off at the little scratchy post. I think that's cute. I don't know why. I would admit something like that. I would do something like that with my cat. I don't think that's weird. All right. Maybe he thought it was weird. Okay. I downloaded Grindr because I thought maybe I was gay. But after a few dudes started messaging me, I was like, this is gay as fuck. And deleted it. And then there's a quote tweet. I thought this would be gay, but not that gay. Okay, I'll be damned, but if the meth you can get on that platform isn't fire as fuck, all right. Honestly, man, the dudes are... I know this because of my gay best friend, Ivan. He's on Grindr. And the dudes on there are wild. I've told this story before on the podcast. I'm going to tell it again for all the new people. Me, my best friend Alex, and our buddy Ivan, we went to this pool party for our friend's birthday. And, we're having a good time. We went to the Airbnb first. We all met there. And then we went to this, casino. And then on the rooftop, they have a pool. and were having a little pool party thing. So we went to the pool party thing. We're having a good time, having fun, doing our thing, dancing, drinking, whatever. Me, I'm kind of like super drunk to the point where I can't stand up. So my boy Alex is holding me, and I'm just like, I got you, bro, And so then we're like, oh yeah, where did we park and all this kind of stuff. And Ivan's just like, oh, you guys, I'll meet you at the Airbnb. And we're like, why? What happened? He's like, oh, I met a guy on Grindr and he's going to suck my dick. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? Is this somebody you've been talking to? And he's like, no, this is somebody I just met like an hour ago on Grindr. And I'm like, what? Huh? It's like that? Yeah, what? Okay. Damn. We were like, do you? I guess. I mean, he just was like on his phone for like 5-10 minutes. And out of nowhere, he's like, all right, man, peace. I'm going to go get my dick sucked. I'm like, what? Magic? It was wild to me because I don't know what goes on in the gay community, and I just support you guys and I do my thing, but he's just over here like, yeah, man, I was on Grindr for a couple minutes and then bam, sex. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, that shit's wild, man. I mean, I don't know about what he says, saying it's like it's gay as fuck. I don't know about that or whatever, but I just know that Grindr's wild. You meet men them on there and they're like, yeah, let's do it. Your butthole ready? I'm ready. I'm like, whoa, oh, wow, damn. It's wild. I was extremely socially isolated as a child and tried to make friends with the coyotes who lived in the woods by our home. I caught one in a snare and fed and kept her. I wanted a friend. Yo, what? Okay. Damn. What were your parents doing? You know what I mean? What was your parents doing? Because your parents just let you keep this rabid animal? And what the fuck were you feeding it? Were you feeding it dog food, or were you like feeding it meat, or were you taking shit out of the refrigerator and feeding it whatever was in there? Like, what were you feeding? Damn. All right. On to the next. I would do role play chats in these online browser games when I was like 9 to 14. They'd always turn sexual, but because I was so innocent at the time, I didn't know how to communicate, so I just bite them, run away, and block them. This reminds me of a lot of the times when Second Life was like a big thing. If you ever watched the TV show True Life, they did a whole episode about people who lived their lives on the internet and stuff like that. And it's surprising because now VR chat is that, VR chat is that new thing where everybody lives their second life in there. And it's gone through so many iterations. I mean, it was Second Life, and then it was like PlayStation Home, and now it's VR chat. And so it's gone through so many iterations, and I'm sure there's tons more iterations of this shit. I only named just like a few of them that were like a little more popular. But, for you younger people out there, Google this shit. Google Second Life, Google PlayStation Home. You guys already know about VR chat, but Google that stuff and you'll be like, whoa, VR chat's not the first to do this. You know what I mean? This was done a long time ago. And that was kind of my era. Like, I didn't really get into not VR chat, Second Life or anything like that, but I knew a lot of people who did, and they had characters, and they would dress them up and stuff like that, and you could play guitar, and you could go to cafes, and it was crazy. It was wild. It was just like VR chat, but imagine it on just like really shitty technology. But it was ahead of its time, I can tell you that. Though people got married on that motherfucker and everything. It was wild, and people who know what that stuff is, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. I helped my partner get unimpacted after a surgery. I am not sure I would be successful in the medical field. Okay. I don't think I could be successful in the medical field either. The reason being is I hate needles. And there's no way I could put a needle in somebody. Oh, I couldn't do it. I can't even look at when a needle goes into my arm, let alone when I have to put it in there. Oh, God, no. You nurses out there, kudos, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And then, what you guys have to deal with, there was a time, right, when I was over at my best friend's house and he was making pizza. And I was he made mojitos, and he made like homemade pizza. So he made the dough, he made the cheese, he made all that. And it was great. I was like, oh my God, this pizza's amazing. And my heart rate ended up being like super high to the point where I passed out. And so, the fire department came and they EKG'd me on the spot and everything. And, I passed out like multiple times. I got rushed to the hospital and I was there. And so, fast forward, because they did a bunch of tests or whatever. But fast forward, and I got into a room, right? And I'm laying there, and I have an IV in me. They just wanted to get liquids in me and see if everything was all right, monitor me, whatever. And so I hear like the other people in other rooms, and I'm telling you, the stuff nurses have to go through every single day these people must be heroes or something, because there's no way I could deal with this level of craziness. Like, there was a guy across from me who was just like yelling at everything. He was like, nurse, he was like, I can't stop coughing. I need this. Can I have a soda? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, bro, there are people with real illnesses here who are trying to sleep and stuff, because I was in like the same wing as like terminally ill people. There was a couple people who were like on breathing machines, and there were people who, seemed like they had tuberculosis or something. Like, their coughs were just so bad. And, these were real sick people, and they're trying to sleep, and this guy is just being loud and loud. And I'm just like, oh my God. For me, I couldn't sleep because I have this IV in my arm, and it's the most uncomfortable thing in the entire world. So for me, I was just like, I can't do this, whatever. And so I just couldn't sleep, and I stayed up the whole time. And this dude was just so loud, so annoying. And the nurses just kept having to check on him and figure things out. And, it was terrible. And the nurses are just like, you're fine, stop. We went in there and checked on you already. You know what I mean? Because at the first few times they would take it serious, and they're like, oh my God, do you need something? Is everything's okay? But then he just kept doing it over and over and over again. He's just yelling at the nurses. Oh, can I get this? I need that. Oh, my blanket is itchy. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? And the girl that was like attending to his room, I felt so bad for her, man. I was like, you are one of the realest ones, because I couldn't. I would be like, I'm gonna let this nigga die. Fuck this guy. Because, man. And then, he had some bullshit ass sob stories and stuff talking about, he's like, oh, I lost everything and this and that. And it could be true, but just the way he's acting and the way he's being so overboard just made me feel like, man, you just trying to garner some kind of sympathy. You know what I mean? You could just tell when somebody is telling just a bullshit story. And I'm just like, dude, come on, really? And I'm like, what are you doing? The nurse don't give a fuck about this. She's tired of dealing with you. And mind you, this was throughout the night. So it was like, I got admitted into the hospital around like 10 p.m. I didn't get out of the hospital till 6 a.m. So I had to deal with this dude all night. It was the worst thing ever. When I got home, I was so happy to sleep. I obviously took a shower because I was filthy, and I just felt gross from being in that hospital bed. But dude, oh, all my you nurses out there, if you're listening, let me know. What is just the worst situation that you've ever been in, with a patient or somebody that you're tending to, because you guys deal with the worst of them. You guys really do. My goodness. I would not be cut out for the medical field. I'm telling you. Let's see. That one got removed. We're going to do like 3 more. My wife and her best friend picked me up from a frat party, blacked out drunk. Then they helped me take a shit on the toilet, wiped my ass, and gave me a shower and put me to bed naked. Don't remember any of it. Yo, your wife and your best friend, they're real ones. They are real ones. Man, I don't know too many women that would like put you on a toilet, wipe your ass, and then put you in the bed. That's wild. I mean, if you've watched the best friend episode, we talked about a time where I got extremely drunk to the point where I fell out of the car. We got home. I fell out of the car. He had to pick my ass up and walk me to the door. And then he grabbed my keys. He opened the door for me. He took me all the way to my room. I hit the wall because I didn't know where I was going. And he was like, oh, bro, not that way. And he put my ass in the bed and left. And then even before that, even while we were at the party that we were at, dude had to walk me to the bathroom. He was like, you good, bro? He's like, you good? I'm like, I'm good. Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh, I have one of those real one best friends. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know if my significant other would do that length of wiping my ass though. I don't know, because taking a dump while you're drunk, yeah, I can see that being impossible. It's hard to pee when you're drunk. I mean, I've done that. Trying to get it in the bowl and you're just like, that's hard. Oh man. Man, that man's got a real one. Damn. Ladies out there, if your man got super drunk, would you wipe his ass after he took a shit? You let me know. Let's see. I had a baby C-section and didn't take the stool softeners. Found out the hard way that I should have. Damn. That, ooh. My God. And I heard after having a baby, it's just, all this is fucked up. Yeah, it is so fucked up. You're just anything you do, it's a struggle because, after having a baby, your organs are moving back into position and stuff. And so it's just long for you. And it's just long. Everything fucking sucks to do. And then on top of that, having a C-section. So you have this big ass scar, so you're healing from the scar. Your organs are trying to move back into position. So I'm sure just even to sit down to go pee or just sitting down on a chair, I'm sure is really hard because, when you sit down, this kind of comes together. So I'm sure that's difficult, man. Ugh. Let's see. We're going to do one more. Okay. I was drunk once, a long time ago when I was young, peed standing over the toilet and showed it to my crush saying, hey, I can do it too. We dated for 2 years after that. Oh my God. Okay, it said I was drunk once, a long time ago, when I was young, peed standing over the toilet. Okay, so I think this was a girl who got super drunk. She stood over the toilet and peed into it, and then looked back at her crush and said, hey, I can do it too. Imagine if you were blackout drunk and you did that in front of the guy that you like. You stood over the toilet and peed like a guy and then looked him in his eye receptacles and was like, I can do it too. The embarrassment that you would feel. Yo. Oh my God. I feel like a girl would die. She would just be dead over something like that. She'd be like, I can't live anymore. Looking the man that you like in the face and being like, look, I can do it too. They're standing. Oh my God. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. All right. We're going to go ahead and change gears from this thread. We're going to change over to a video. I found this video on TikTok, and it's a super old video that I'm thinking, I'm not 100% sure. I just ran into it and I watched part of it. I didn't watch the full thing, but I watched part of it. And for me, I was like, there's no way that a man could ever do something like this. And it's crazy to me to think that this is this girl's life. It's wild. And that a bunch of ordinary girls could do this. And it's like, there's no way an ordinary guy could do this. I'll explain. Let's get into it.
Would you like to know what the day of a very busy sex worker consists of? You would? That's what I thought. My day started bright and early at 4 a.m. Got to the client's house at 5 a.m. I'm a topless maid, so I clean their house topless for 2 hours. Now, why did this client want me there so early? Well, because that's the only time that they're available. This client is a doctor and works at night and sleeps all day. The days he's off, he's with his children. He's not married. Not anymore, at least. He gets off at 4:30 a.m., so he stays awake a couple hours after his shift to watch me clean. And I've had this client for a couple months now. I fucking love him. He's the only client I will get up that fucking early for. And he also leaves me a hefty tip every single time of $1,000. I made $1,600 at that first house. Then by that...
Okay. So, she woke up at 4 in the morning. Got there by 5. It took her around, let's say, 2 to 3 hours just cleaning a house topless. And she made $1,600. Mind you, it's still the morning time. Okay? It's the morning time. And she made $1,600.
By that time, the sun is peeking its beautiful face in the sky. I grab some coffee from Dunkin', and I go to my second client's house. They are a lovely lesbian couple. I do backyard landscaping for them. Topless, of course. They got a fence high enough, nobody can see in, so don't worry. I also cleaned their pool as well. I was there for 2 hours, made $800. His brunch...
Okay. So now she goes, mind you, at this time, it's probably like 9:10 a.m. All right. And then she gets there. It's probably like 2 hours. She cleaned the lesbian's place or whatever, topless and whatnot. And she made another, what was it? $800. So this girl's already made $2,400 and it's noon. It's noon. It's fucking crazy. $2,400. And it's noon. Let's continue.
Lunch time around this point, and that is my next client. I go and sit down at First Watch, have a nice paid brunch. Got paid $500 for that, and the eggs and fruit were delish. Then
she got paid $500 to eat food. Food. $500 to eat food. That's crazy. Crazy. She's made now over $2,900. And it's the afternoon. It's probably like 2 p.m. for her. She's made $2,900. And she made $500 just to go eat food. There's more.
I headed over to another client's house to wash some cars. This was a first-time client. He had me wash his 2 Corvettes and detail the inside, all of course while wearing my microkini. Made $1,200 there. But guess what? His neighbor came out. Would you like? Because he saw me, of course. And he hired me to wash his truck. Now, I did have to sacrifice my lunch hour for this, but you know what?
She had to sacrifice her lunch hour. She made $1,200 washing 2 cars. Washing 2 cars. $1,200. Just because she did it in a micro bikini. $1,200. And then she had to complain that she missed her lunch hour because you already got paid to eat. So what the fuck do you mean by your lunch hour? What? Come on, bruh. This is ridiculous. At this time, she's made $4,100 in the span of one day. And it's not over yet. Oh, let's continue.
A bitch will make a bag. Food can always wait. By the way, if that sounds like I'm promoting an eating disorder, I'm not. I'm just saying that I'm okay with sacrificing my lunch hour every once in a while to make money. I don't always do it. Anyways, and I made an extra $400 with that last minute client, so worth it. Then I went and mowed a pasture for 3 hours. Topless. Now, a lot of you, I'm sure, are wondering, oh my God, how are you not burned to a crisp? This client, He has a fancy dancy tractor, the one with the little roof or sun protector above your head. Plus, I put on at least 2 pounds of sunscreen, 100 SPF. So yeah, I was good. But I made $2,500 from that. Then I had to go to one more client's house.
Are you kidding me? Yo, the Mexicans must be mad at her, bro. Oh my God, the Mexicans must be mad at her, bro. She out here doing Mexican work and she getting paid $2,500 to mow a lawn. $2,500. That is 2,500 for mowing a lawn with her titties out. That's crazy. That is, I mean, look, I'm not making this, segment in this video to bash her or women that do this or anything. I just am looking at the craziness of like what dudes are willing to spend just to have a girl do shit for them. It's like, what the fuck? What are you spending your money on? It is baffling to me that this is the world that we live in. Like, look, I'm not trying to like open you guys' eyes to something, or I'm not trying to like, I don't know, tell you some crazy conspiracy story or whatever. I'm just saying it's like this type of shit right here blows my mind. The fact that guys are spending this much money, $2,500. That dude with the 2 Corvettes, he spent $1,200 just to watch a girl in a bikini clean his cars. Bro, fuck are you doing? If you have that kind of money, why don't you go get a girl that you can actually date and have sex with? What the fuck are you doing? Like, and then the dude who paid to have the lawn mowed, it's like, what the hell are you doing? $2,500? What the fuck? And then the first guy, let's go all the way back to the first guy. The first guy, she only charged him $600, and you're leaving $1,000 tip for her to just clean the house? Fuck are we talking about here? Anybody could do that. It is crazy. It is crazy. And we're not done. There's more. There's more.
Cleaned their house for an hour topless. Got $350 from that. And now I'm back home. Today in total, I made $7,350. I have my security guy, Joe, who comes with me on these jobs, and I pay him 30%. I pay him 30% of the lump sum total. So he made $2,205 of the $7,350 I made today. My take home was $5,145. Pretty damn good day. Now I will say I don't have those days every day. Okay, today was particularly busy. Like I said, I've been up since 4. I've worked over a 12-hour day, but I damn sure ain't complaining because I don't really know of any other job where you can work that many hours and make that much money. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Be your own boss. But I will say one thing, the term more money, more problems has lived up to its reputation. I love money and I love problems, so
That's crazy. Yo, being an average looking woman is like, it is OP in today's society and world. It's crazy how overpowered it is being a female. My goodness. Like, and you saw her, she's not like, bombshell beautiful and, this and that. Like, she's not a 10. Like, at the most, she's 6'7". She's a little over, above average, and like the fact that a little above average kind of chick can do those kind of things, like guys are willing to pay that kind of money, blows my mind. Like I said, I'm not bashing her. Do your thing. If sex work's what you want to do, you do that. I'm not knocking nobody. I'm not showing this video to like bash on her. I am just opening your eyes. If you have never seen this video, I'm opening your eyes to just what the world is like. When I saw that, I was like, this is crazy. Crazy. That a girl can just be like, and I'm sure that, she markets herself on like sugar sites and stuff like that, to kind of keep a expensive clientele. And obviously she probably has her Instagram and she probably has OnlyFans and stuff like that. But just the fact that it's like she made $7,000 and then had a $5,000 take home in one day. Man, I don't know. When I saw the video, I was like, I have to share it. This was crazy to me. You guys, I felt like if I would have just talked about it, you wouldn't believe me. I had to show it. I'm like, bro, it's crazy. Like I said, not knocking her hustle, not, hey, do your thing. If you're out there and you're a sex worker, whatever, do your thing, do you, make your money. But it's crazy. It's great because a dude could never do something like that. Like if I could show up to a rich old lady's house, swang some dick and clean her house and make $2,000 right then and there in like 3 to 4 hours, you best believe I'm going to do it. But I guarantee you there ain't job opportunities like that. And if there are, let your boy know because I'll do it. I got some dick to swang. Like I'm down. Let's go. It's crazy. It is crazy. Oh my God. I just had to share that, man. I was like, dude, I got to share that on the podcast because that's crazy. And I'm sure it's an old video. I'm sure it's a video a lot of people have seen, but just, I don't know. Just the fact that I was so blown away. I was so blown away. All right. We're going to go ahead and get into some scenarios here. And then we'll probably do 2 scenarios. And then we're going to have our Patreon scenario. And then we'll close out the show. So let's get to it. Was I in the wrong? I was out last weekend to celebrate the end of midterms and I was leaving the bar. A man was being dragged out of the club completely unconscious. All of his friends were drunk and the bouncers seemed to be busy, so I called 911 just to be sure that the man would get help. Side note, I listen to a lot of true crime and hear a lot about people thinking everyone else called 911 but no one actually called, so I thought I'd better be safe than sorry. I was met with a very rude dispatcher that said, we only need one person to call, right? Before hanging up on me. It made me a little discouraged and thought, well, maybe I should assume other people will call, but that's exactly how people don't end up getting the help they need. So was I in the wrong? No. Fuck no. Are you kidding me? Because we live in the age of when something crazy is happening to somebody, people go straight to videotaping, not 911. That is probably one of the scariest things to realize in kind of the world we live in now. I mean, when you see something going down, say a car crash happens or say, I don't know, just some tragic thing is going on. The first instinct for a lot of people is to pull out their phone and start filming it. It's not to call 911. And so for him to have that reaction to be like, I don't think anybody called 911 on that guy. I think they filmed him getting kicked out unconscious and wanted to post it on Instagram and TikTok. So I'm going to call 911 just to make sure. Now, the fact that the dispatcher was being rude the way she was, it's like, look, you can tell the guy, hey, no, it's okay. We have dispatchers on the way there. Thank you for calling. But it's been covered. She didn't have to be like fucking rude about it. And dude, if for whatever reason, somehow you come across this video, keep doing that for people. Don't stop. Don't get discouraged just because, of the interaction that you just had. If you see somebody going through something or you see like a car crash or you see, people getting kicked out unconscious or whatever, and they need help, continue to call 911 because you're one of the people who don't do it. You don't feed into the whole, oh my God, I can get clicks and views off of this, and it's just a sad reality we live in. I'm not going to be down on those people that want to film and all that. Do what you want to do. I don't give a shit. But at the same time, it's like, know that you're part of the problem. When people are on the street dying and shit's happening and stuff like that, you choose to pull out your phone and film instead of helping out. It's just the way it goes, So I definitely don't think you're in the wrong for that one, man. Not at all. All right. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Looking for some insight into a decision I made. All right. Almost 10 years ago, my ex-boyfriend's mom passed away. We were the only two people in the house, and he was the one that initially found her. My mom had issues with prescription drugs. Oh, his mom had issues with prescription drugs and alcohol. So he always had the fear of finding her OD'd in the back of his mind. We woke up that morning to his mom's bedroom door was wide open as usual. Her bed was visible from the hallway. I didn't take a look down the hallway, just trying to respect her privacy. But he mentioned that he hated when his mom fell asleep like that, sitting upright, hunched over, because she looked like she was dead. She frequently passed out sitting upright, hunched over, so the thought was odd, but nothing too alarming. At least an hour passed by, and he started getting worried that she was actually dead because she hadn't started her day yet. He went to check on her, and unfortunately, she passed away. His screams were horrifying. We immediately called 911 and they recommended we give her CPR. Oh my God. That is crazy. I'm going to see if I can find the rest of the story. Give me a moment. I'm going to see if I can find the rest of it. Oh my God. Okay. He was so distraught and she was already blue. I didn't want him to have to be traumatized by having to perform CPR on her, as she had obviously been dead for quite some time. Due to her blue skin and pooling of the blood in her face, it also looked like she had pool of vomit in front of her. I told him not to do that, and the dispatchers agreed that if she was already blue, it's too late for CPR, and told him not to. To be honest, I did not want to perform CPR on her either because she was clearly very rigid, blue, and her face was discolored from the pooling of blood. I told my current boyfriend about this traumatic story, and the first thing he says is, "Why didn't you perform CPR? You never know if it could have saved her." This is leading me to feel very guilty about the situation. I kind of flipped out on my boyfriend because it was a very insensitive comment to make, and now I'm overthinking if we should have given her CPR even though she was blue and looked like had been dead for hours. I really didn't think CPR would have been a good idea. I'm just looking for an insight if I made the right call by not performing CPR on my ex-boyfriend's mother, or if I should have done that anyways despite of it. There was no way we could have saved her at that point, right? No, you couldn't have. The medics didn't even advise you to give her CPR. So the fact that even the medics said, don't give her CPR, she's gone. I understand that's a tough pill to swallow, and I understand that's something you maybe don't want to accept. You want to kind of have that glimmer of hope that maybe she could come back, but she's gone. And just the way she looked and her vital signs just kind of proved that. And it's sad to say, but it's tough and it's hard to deal with. My God. Oh my gosh. And I feel so horrible that, she had to relive that. I understand that she was the one that told her boyfriend now about the situation, and he shouldn't have said what he said. He should have been a little more supportive, like on her end, like, hey, no, you did everything you could. And, there was just no saving her from that, and I'm sure even at the moment they felt that way. Like there was nothing that we could do. She was blue in the face. She's probably been like this for hours and she's gone. It's a horrible, tragic thing, but what else can you do? I don't want to be that negative person, and I don't want to shed negativity on the situation and make it seem like, it was worse than it actually was. But it's just like, that's the truth of the matter, is that she's been gone for a couple hours and there was nothing that you could have done. I feel like the boyfriend is the asshole in this situation because he shouldn't have said, well, why did you give her CPR? You could have saved her. Dude, no. If you listen to the story, the medics advise that you shouldn't give her CPR. That if she's blue in the face and, the blood pooled all around, the orifices of her face, which is the holes in her face, her mouth, her nose, her ears, probably her eyes, she's gone. And that's a tough situation to be in. And I understand why you would kind of have some doubts and be like, oh my God, did I do the right thing? Is what I did correct? Like, I understand that fully 100% why you would have some doubts in your mind that maybe I didn't do the right thing. Maybe what I did was wrong. I don't know. And it's okay to have those kind of doubts, but you have to understand that she was gone and that's just the way it goes. And it's tough. That's hard to deal with, and I know being in that position, and if that's your mother, yeah, you would want to do anything and everything to try to bring her back. You know what I mean? You can't accept the fact that she's gone. You're like, if CPR is something that could possibly work, I'm gonna fucking give CPR, It's understandable. But even when the medical team is like, look, I'm sorry, but don't. Don't. It's too early. It's too late for that. So, whew, man, that was heavy. Yeah, I thought I'd share that because, man, that was heavy. Let's see. All right. Okay, so we are going to get into our Patreon scenario for today. If you would like your scenario on the show, just like this person did, and on our previous show, episode 46, where we had a Patreon member send in a scenario. If you would like to send in your scenario, go ahead and click on the link tree. If you are on YouTube or anything else, if you're on Spotify or Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, there should be a support the show link in the description of every single episode. You click that and it'll take you right to Patreon. If that support the show link is not there, you can go to the link tree, and Patreon is also on there as well. Patreon is $3 a month. You get a new episode every Friday. That episode is exclusive to Patreon, and you get to be able to send in as many scenarios as you want. You paid me the $3, you get to send as many scenarios as you want, just like this person. So we're going to read their scenario right now. A late bloomer lost her virginity. Long story short, and it's not a short story. You guys got to stop saying long story short, all right? Even last episode, the guy was like, long story short. And I'm just like, stop. It's a long story. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Long story short, I lost my virginity to someone I met on a dating app. I am a little too old to be this gullible, but in my defense, I do not have any relationship experience. On the app, we are both looking for long-term relationships. Our conversations became long phone calls, and we agreed to go on a date. He wanted to see me a little sooner before the date, so I figured we can hang out in his apartment, and that's where you went wrong, girl. Damn. He gives me wine and we're watching TV. Things start getting hot and heavy. He's kissing me. He's putting his hand in my pants. I received oral and we have sex. We continued to have sex multiple times within the night. No, he had no clue that I was a virgin, and he wasn't questioning the way the sex was going. He told me after that he thought it was a good idea if we both just deleted the app and actually start to date seriously with intent. I agreed to it. I went over to his place a few more times, and the last time I went over, his actions made me realize he was kind of a selfish person. I addressed my concerns, or what my concerns were, and that he told me that he didn't think we were going to work out at all. Then he blocked my phone number and blocked me on Instagram. I feel so disgusted and disappointed by myself. Did he just want me for sex and lie about wanting a relationship? Whoa. Well, let me start off by this. losing your virginity is never, and I mean ever, going to be as magical as you think it will be. It's never going to be this moment where you look back on it and you're like, oh my God, I lost my virginity in the perfect way. I would say a very, very, very small amount of people get that. Okay. So let's start with that. It's okay that you lost your virginity to this guy. And it's okay that you went through this situation because it allows you to get some of that relationship experience that you lack. And you mentioned that you lack relationship experience, and that's okay. I understand he was a dick and he was an asshole. He probably only wanted to have sex with you, and that's really what it was. He probably knew you were a virgin just by how you were, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think you were easy. I don't think that you were the type of person that, gave it up too easy or anything like that. You had great conversation with him. You guys talked on the phone. You guys had long conversations, so on and so forth. You guys definitely had a vibe. You were doing everything right. You did everything right. And I would say the only thing that he did wrong in that was the fact that he lied about wanting a serious relationship with you. He really didn't want a serious relationship with you, and he honestly just wanted some sex, and it sucks. You have to go through that. I think everybody goes through that, if I'm being honest with you. Everyone does. Everyone goes through some shitty point in their life where somebody fucks them over, and it sucks. It's terrible to do, and you go through it. Be glad that he blocked you. Be glad that he's done with you, because now you can move on and you can be with somebody else. And it sucks. I know you deleted the app, but hey, re-download that app and get back out there, girl, because your guy's out there. I think people put too much precedence on their virginity, and they're like, I have to lose it to the person I'm going to get married to. I have to lose it to this. I have to do it this way. I have to do it that way. You don't. Go through life. Enjoy it. Have fun. Fuck up. Make mistakes. Like, it's okay. You know what I mean? She made a mistake in being with this guy, and that's okay. You lost your virginity. Hey, you got it out the way. That's what I say. I say you got it out of your way, you got some experience under your belt, and you're doing your thing. Enjoy life. Don't let it be something that you dwell on and that you're like, oh my God, I could never date again, and I can't trust a guy ever again. No. If you meet another guy and you feel a connection to him and you're like, I want to have sex with this guy, do it. Have sex with this guy. Do it. Definitely. Enjoy your time with the guy, because if it doesn't work out with that guy, hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And you move on. I think people put too much emphasis on their previous trauma and all this kind of stuff when it's like, listen, we go through things for a reason. We go through things because we are supposed to experience them. And some things are really difficult and tough to go through, and some things are fun and amazing to go through. It's just the way life is. And when you start to experience life through that lens, you don't look at the bad things as something weighing you down. You don't look at the bad things as something that's hurting you and it's horrible and it hurts you to your core. You just look at it like, it didn't work out, and it hurts and it sucks, and I'm going to get through it, but the world's going to keep spinning. The hours of the clock are going to continue to move. I'm still alive. I'm still healthy. Everything's great. You have to look at it as an experience. And yes, he is the asshole in this situation, 100%. But my thing is, it's okay. You lost your virginity. It's all right. You got it out of the way. You now have some relationship experience. And now, you can go into the next relationship and you have a bit of a clear lens when you see the things that you said you voiced your concerns. So when you see those things in that guy that you were voicing the concerns about, go ahead, voice your concerns again. And if that dude does the same thing that this guy does, dip, peace, because you're just like the last guy. And I don't want to go through that again. But if you voice your concerns and he's actually like, oh shoot, like, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were feeling that way. You want to talk about it. If he's a little more attentive to it, give the guy a shot. Give him a chance. Let him prove himself. I always say that. Let a guy prove himself. Put what you need to put out there, and then let him show you. I always say, that actions are going to speak way louder than words. A lot of times you don't have to speak anything. You voice your concern simply, and you let them do what they are going to do with that information. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And that's fine. Hey, I voiced my concerns. I already told you what I wanted out of you in a relationship. You don't want to give me that? That's cool. That's cool, but I'm out. Peace, chicken grease. So, hey, that's all I'm going to say about that. You guys let me know what you think about her Patreon submission in the comments down below. But that's going to end today's show. Thank you guys again so much. I cannot stop thanking you guys. Every time I see the comments on TikTok and the feedback from Spotify and Apple, I keep wanting to say Apple Music. It's Apple Podcasts. Every time I see the feedback from Spotify and Apple Podcasts, it blows my mind the fact that like you guys are listening to my podcast and you're enjoying it and so many people are downloading it. That to me is huge. It's crazy. The support is amazing. Thank you guys so much. My goal of 1,000 downloads is like within grasp. It's crazy. I mean, we're up to like 800 downloads total so far. My goal is to hit 1,000 by the end of this year. And then obviously I have some other milestones that I want to hit. I want to hit 500 followers on TikTok. We're 100 away from that. YouTube, yeah, YouTube is here and there, but you guys have been showing so much support in other ways that it definitely makes up for it. And I appreciate all of it. Thank you guys so much. Peace.